What's up, Hey Skipper family? Today we're going to be talking about a couple of rigs that I've been using since I was a little kid. So, I've been fishing with my dad for a good while now, and I just remember, like, long time ago, we're using the same rigs that I'm using to this day. And these rigs are everywhere around the world. Today I'm going to show you guys how I like to tie them up, how I use them, and basically I'm hoping that you will be able to tie it up and use it for yourself, catch yourself a bunch of fish, and use it anywhere you go. So let's get tying. This is what we're going to talk about first. I'm going to show you how to tie this, the different variations, and kind of talk about what size hooks, what size everything you should use, what size I use, and how to tie it up. The benefits of using this high-low rig right here is this sinker side sits on the bottom, right? This sits at the top. See, when you cast it out, it doesn't just sit straight up and down. That's if you're just dropping it straight up and down. When you cast it out, you gotta think, you're far away, right? It's gonna look more like this. Under the water, it's gonna look more like this. And with the sinker anchored right here, fish can swim by and they have two opportunities. They see, number one, ooh, that looks like a good fish right there. Oh wait, this is a good one, it's right in front of my face. Ah! Boom, that's how you get the fish right there. That second piece right there was tasty enough to attract it. But that first piece, maybe they didn't want that shrimpy bit that was on there. Maybe they wanted that clam right here. You know, you can try multiple baits on one rig. That's why this is one of the best rigs out there. And honestly, you can add another hook on here as well, and then you'll have 3 chances. This is a great rig. Okay, so let's get to tying it. Here's my box of tying materials. What we're gonna need are swivels, 180-pound, size 7, two-way swivels. We're gonna need hooks. I'm gonna show you guys how I tied the pre-tied rigs because this is how I use it most commonly. Size 2/0 circle hooks. Yep, 2/0 circle hooks. These smaller swivels right here, pyramid sinker. And then these snap swivels at the bottom. And I use 20-pound fluorocarbon. Okay, well, I'll use this line to tie it just because it's easier for everyone to see how to tie it up with that. But just disclaimer, never ever use just braid to tie your lines. This is a really not good idea. Because braid, first of all, if anything sharp tooth comes, it's gonna just cut it off real quick. Second of all, any fish that sees a bright colored, or any kind of colored line, or like, it's just so visible. They don't wanna see that. You're gonna catch less fish, I can almost guarantee you that. Use fluorocarbon or monofilament. Those are the only 2 you should use. So, we're gonna measure out about 4 to 5 feet of line, because you have to give some line to the actual arms of it. So first we're going to tie on the sinker. And I do a really simple knot here. You guys are going to love this knot. So, you guys are going to love this knot. Check this out. First you're going to tie an overhand knot. Right? Boom. Easy. Next, you push this tag end through the loop. And then you tie another overhand knot. But make sure this knot goes through that knot. See that? Tighten, pull. And now the knot is done. That was like 10 seconds. This is one of the fastest knots that I know. Okay? It holds pretty strong too. Check it out. Very strong knot. Okay. Now, above that, about 12 inches above that, we're going to tie the first dropper loop. This dropper loop is important because it holds the hook. Like I said, I do about a 6 to 7 inch dropper loop knot. You make a loop like this, and then you start twisting these 2 lines together. I do it 7 times. Then we pull this tag through here. Okay? And then we slowly tighten. And that's the first dropper loop right there. You see that? That dropper loop knot right there is really important to learn how to tie, because it is a crucial knot to tying this entire rig and many other rigs. And it's a really simple knot as well. As long as you can conceptually understand how it works, you'll be able to tie it. So we do one dropper loop here, then another 12 inches above, we're going to do another. And it doesn't need to be exact. You know, some people, they like to use like a pegboard or like whatever their like wooden board tie, rig tie, but it's all bull. You don't need any of that. That's like just extra stuff that you're going to have around your house that you don't need. Just use your brain, use your eyeballs, and figure out how long it really needs to be. It doesn't need to exactly be that size. So, I usually do around 12 inches. No one's gonna give me crap. I'm not gonna catch any less fish if I did 13 inches or 14 inches. I just personally do 12. Okay, so I'm gonna do it right here. Do the same kind of dropper loop. Make that loop. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'll pull this through. Do it nice and slow. If it starts to get a little tangled, fix it with your fingers. And there we go, another dropper loop. Now this one's a little bit short, but guess what? It'll be just fine. Even though it's a little bit an inch shorter, it's fine. They don't need to be absolutely perfect. Although the ones that I do tie for the pre-packaged, the pre-tied ones, are all exactly the same. So you're going to get one single standard. But if you're tying this yourself, don't worry so much about it being exactly the same thing. It's most important to just be out there and fishing with it. That's the most important part. The most important part is that you tie the knots correctly and that it'll be strong enough to hold. The second most important part is just being out there and using the rig. So now we have two dropper loops on, about 12 inches apart from each other. Now another 12 inches, and we're going to tie the swivel. This two-way swivel is important to help keep your line from tangling up on each other, on itself. So with this, we're going to do an improved clinch. And for those of you guys who don't know how to tie fishing knots, we have a whole library of ebooks that teach how to do so. And it's really, really helpful because I have animated how to do it. And you'll never forget because it's written down on a piece of paper in a really nice illustration. And that's the improved clinch knot. Now, we've got the rig tied. I'm going to use the octopus circle hooks. And this is what I use for our pre-tied as well. Okay. Now watch how simple this is. You just put the end, push the end through the top of this hook. It's just, this braid is kind of thick. And like I said, I never tie with braid. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Okay, so look, you push the loop through, and then you turn it, pull it through again. And now you've got your first hook attached. The next one, same thing. When you're doing this with monofilament or fluorocarbon, it's much easier. Okay, so you pull it through like this. Then you feed it through the loop like that, and you pull. This is how you tie it, and there's a million different variations you can tie based off of this. Okay, the next rig that I think you guys should know is the SureCatch rig. Okay, to tie this up, this is one of the simplest ones to tie up. All you're going to need is the two-way swivels and a hook and some line. I'm going to show you guys how to replicate our SureCatch rig, which is tied with a 2/0 circle hook, with 30-pound monofilament leader, and with these size 7 swivel hooks. So first, our standard rig is about 14 inches long, Every one of them are about 14 inches long. I'm not saying that any longer or any shorter is any worse. So take it or leave it. Take it with a grain of salt. It might be different for you, but this is how I do it. Okay? We're going to put on one of these swivels first, and then we're going to take one of these 3/0 hooks. This is a little bit bigger than what we use. We use 2/0s, but this one is going to be for a little bit bigger piece of bait. And we have different hook sizes for different fish, right? Not just different fish, but for different kinds of bait. This is also, we have the new Sure Catch minis here, but we tie the minis using these little mini hooks right here. These are size 1 hooks. This, I can put a live shrimp on there, a small mud minnow, whereas a live shrimp on here would die really quickly, or a minnow would just look, the hook is too big for it. You want to have small bait for small hooks for small bait, big hooks for bigger bait. It's important. You need to match your bait size to your hook size. I'm going to show you guys how to tie it with a bigger piece of bait. This will be good for like cut mullet or just mullet in general. Cut piece of bait would be perfect on this one. All of our rigs are tied with a snell knot, and the snell knot is important. It's a really strong knot that gives it protection on the actual shank as well, and you'll see what I mean by that. So first you put it through the front of the eye like this, then you make a loop right here, you pinch it, but make sure you give yourself a little bit extra. Then make the loop smaller, about the length of this. And then we're going to take this tag end and wrap it around this shank about 7 to 8 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After you wrap it, you want to put this tag end through the front loop right here, and then you tighten up the whole knot. And when you tighten it, don't do it really fast. Just do a little bit at a time to make sure that it all tightens correctly. That's how you get a really pretty knot. And all of our knots are really pretty on these pre-tied rigs. There we go. Take pride in your knots. Don't tie them sloppy. Because if you have the choice, why not? Make it look nice. That's the snell knot. Now we're going to tie onto this swivel, and I use an improved clinch. And that's how you tie it. You might want to rewind it or pause the frame, but if you really want to learn, we've got a lot of ebooks and a lot of online resources for you to learn. See? That's how you replicate our Sure Catch rig. Here at Hey Skipper, we want to get you guys on fish. We don't just want to show you big fish that we catch. We don't want to just show you our fishing adventures. We really want you guys to jump into the rabbit hole with us and learn and dive into the fishing as not only a hobby, but as a way of life. It's a really great way of life. Instead of having to buy, meat that is like crudely farmed and like just, I don't agree with the meat industry. I try to buy as little meat as I can, and I'm not trying to preach here. You can buy whatever you want, but for me, I don't like the idea that there's so many like cows suffering and there's so much hormones being pumped into these different animals. I don't want to eat that, and I don't want to promote that. I eat it once in a while, but mostly I eat shrimp, I eat fish, I eat crabs. These are a more sustainable way to eat and to live. And fishing is not just about catching the fish, it's about the lifestyle. You go out there, you're relaxed, you're digging deeper into like discovering like how the natural world works. The sound of the ocean, the sound of the water, the sound of the nature is very relaxing and therapeutic. And not only that, you get to catch fish to eat and sustain yourself with it. I can't think of a better sport than that. Anyways, comment below, what are your thoughts? if you want to help support our channel, first of all, just subscribe. That's a really huge thing. And anyone who's already subscribed, I want to thank you guys for being here. You guys have been here for a long time. I think we're hitting like almost 600,000 subscribers now, and it just, guys, it really feels amazing. You've really made our livelihoods just even better, and we hope to continue this beautiful channel that we've created. You guys are from all over the world, and we really appreciate your support. If you want to support a little bit more and you want to get some more fish, we have products like this, like all of our pre-tied rigs. We have ebooks, like I said. We have these special baits that, I mean, I just designed these new the containers for our baits. This is the Shrimpy Bits, our squid. I show you guys how to use it on the back too. Like, you guys have really made our dreams come true. This is all I wanted to do with my life, is like be able to talk to you guys and create products like this. I love what I do, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of our heart. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next week.